Welcome back to Mr. Obsolete's Vintage Homesteading. Today's chore is going to be putting mulch underneath the grapevines here. Cleaned out around them using a couple of tools. This I bought at a yard sale for 25 cents. It's got a crack in the handle, but I put some super glue in there. It's old enough, it's American made, and it really works good. It holds an edge, sharp point. Much better than the cheap Chinese junk of today. The other thing we got are these Corona nippers. And Corona is a company in California. These are fairly old, but they were basically brand new. I paid $3 for them, and they really cut good. It's best to buy something high quality like this, even though it's a lot more money, because the cheap Chinese stuff just doesn't do a job. So we'll show you a few cuts here. You can find a place where there's a lot of stuff just like that. It takes out a bunch of stuff and nothing flat, so buy the good stuff. So we've got the piles of weeds and grass that we've taken out. I'll load them up in the tractor and we'll go over to the compost pile and we'll see you there. Okay, here we are at the compost pile. So we'll put this on, layer it out. The thing I found is it breaks down the quickest if it's got a lot of grass in it. And we mix in the usual, we got leaves and tree mulch and everything else. It works great. Over here we have some more grass clippings from the lawn recently. Put some of that on top. It's nice and dry. It's already starting to break down. You can see that stuff's breaking down really good. Got some leaves in here. I put these in when they were wet and they still got moisture on them, so they're breaking down real nicely, and once they get out here they'll decompose really quickly. So now we're going to go out and get some tree branches I cut down that were hanging out in the road, and we'll grind those up in the grinder here, make some fresh mulch. Wood chip mulch, and we'll put it down underneath the grapevines. So we'll see out at the wood. Okay, we're out where we took the branches down here. These were leaning out into the road, rubbing on the vehicles, so I cut them off here and back over through here. And what we're going to do with these, I'm going to cut them up and we'll shred them and make some nice mulch out of them. When you have fresh stuff like this, all the sap and nutrients are still in the wood and stuff, and so it makes the best mulch. So as it breaks down, all that stuff goes in, and I'll be putting it around the grapevines. So we'll get busy here. using our handy dandy Corona saw, which is a great piece and relatively inexpensive. This has been the best little saw I've found. And I'll be using these nippers I've had for a really long time. These are old enough, they were actually made in France. I paid like $75 for these when it was new. All the new ones are made in China, they're not near as good. So I'll get busy and start cutting them up and loading them up here. Bigger piece like this, we'll have to use a saw, but this cut's nice because it's on the back stroke. Two cuts and cut that off. So I'll get this stuff all cut up and we'll see you up at the mulcher. Well, we're at the processing center here. Just an old Chippewa chipper that had belonged to some relatives. And they didn't like it. It's really dangerous to use. It's terribly loud, but it really does a nice job. It really makes it nice stuff. Cuts it really fine. This is the feed tube for the bigger branches and small stuff in here. Always use this because it'll pull it out of your hand and you could pull your hand into it real easily. Now they had left it outside because the engine had quit running. It's one of those things that's too good to throw away but not good enough to get in and get fixed, so it got destroyed basically. The bearings down here on the shredder were bad. I replaced those. The inner parts of it were really good. The motor was totally destroyed and full of water. I picked up this Briggs & Stratton here for $20 at a yard sale. The guy had bought a tiller and used it a couple of times and the gearbox blew up because it's a cheap piece of junk. And it had a short shaft on it so nobody would buy it. And it's ideal for this. The short shaft is perfect for the clutch here. And so it worked really good. So basically I put the good engine on it, put a new belt on it, repaired the clutch, sharpened the teeth and replaced the bearings. So basically I have about $100 in it. Something like this today would cost about $800–900 at least, if not more. Set up here. Set the throttle, turn the ignition switch on, turn on the fuel, set the choke and see how easy it starts. You always want to let these engines warm up. We'll let it run for a minute or so before it starts ready. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're just about ready. Remember your safety glasses. You definitely need ear protection. If you want to lose your hearing fast, run this for an hour without any earmuffs. back at the grapevines. I've got the mulch here. This is stuff I shredded last year, and it's starting to break down real nice where it's moist. And I'll put that down first. I'm not going to put down the new stuff yet because I've been feeding these with the minerals and other things like that. And if I put a heavy layer of fresh stuff in there, it's going to be too much. It can actually be damaging to the plants. So I'll put a layer of this down first, and then we'll bring the other stuff and lay it out on the top. So go in here. So we'll get that. We don't want it right up against the bush itself, just like on the apple tree here, it's away from it. This we put in last year. And that's what it looks like after a year. Put all the stuff in there and it breaks down to the really, really good stuff, very nutrient rich. I have a ton of apples on this tree. This is an old mat for the sleeping bag, going in a sleeping bag the boys used to use for Boy Scouts camping. So never throw anything away, repurpose it. So this is going to be my mat for my pants when we get moving. Put down a nice even layer like that, and we'll put some of the green stuff on the top of it. And normally I would water it, but we've got rain coming in for the next few days, so we'll just let it soak in naturally and start breaking it down. So we'll be back when we've got more of it finished. Okay, we're back at the grapes. We've got our freshly shredded mulch from the tree debris we cut down. And we've got our first layer in. So we put it in around, taking most of the weeds and stuff out, and they leave about a 4-inch opening around the roots and stuff. You don't want the mulch right next to it. Then we'll put this on. Nice green stuff, all that good nutrients in there. Okay, we're back. We've got all the new mulch down, cleaned out around the plants, and leveled out really nice. So let's give you a good look at it here. Okay. Now we've got everything done. I just wanted to talk about repurposing a little bit. Our trellis here, it's an old tarp tent building I had. A tree fell on one end of it and destroyed it. So last year we had a trellises set up, but they all collapsed and failed. They were cheap plastic, but this works good. Next spring I'm going to do a really nice one. I'll make it 6 feet high so we can walk underneath it and whatnot. And then, so the chipper shredder we have, it's a 1984 model, it's pretty old, but you can see what a really nice job it does. And there again, repurposing something that would have been gone to the junkyard, except for me getting it. And last year we had a bumper crop of grapes. Looks like we're going to have them again this year. We made some grape jelly, and we had 92 quarts of grape juice just from this little roll right here, so it really did well. And you know, the mulch and stuff, I mean, since I'm thrifty, you know, we did free tree debris to mulching and a little bit of labor, and probably spent a whole $1 in gas, so I'd say that's pretty darn good. So that's it for today. See you on the next video.